In the beginning, there was nothing. No sun, no moon, no stars, only a vast, endless void that stretched beyond the limits of time and space. Imagine a world where darkness reigned supreme, where silence was absolute. Then, without warning, everything changed. In a moment that defies human understanding, a command shattered the silence. Let there be light, and light exploded into existence, piercing the darkness with a brilliance unlike anything we can comprehend. But what was this light? Was it the sun? The moon? No. It was something far more mysterious, something far more powerful. As the days unfolded, the universe as we know it took shape in ways that have baffled scholars and believers for centuries. Each day a new element was added to the grand design, carefully placed with an intention we're still trying to grasp. From the formation of the sky, to the stirring of life in the deep oceans, to the first breath of humanity, these events were more than simple acts of creation. They were the foundation of everything that exists, seen and unseen. And yet, there's more to this story than you've ever been told. Hidden within these ancient verses are secrets that hold the key to understanding the very fabric of our reality. Why did it all begin in darkness? What hidden forces shaped the first day of creation? And what mysteries still lie within the pages of Genesis, waiting to be uncovered? Today we embark on a journey through the first 7 days of the world, peeling back layers of time to reveal the truth behind the creation story. You've heard these tales before, but never like this. We're about to uncover the deeper meanings, the untold stories, and the profound messages that have been passed down through generations. From the first burst of light to the creation of mankind, every day holds a piece of a puzzle we're still trying to solve.
Get ready to witness the story of how everything began, a story filled with awe, wonder, and revelations that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the origins of our world. The epic 7-day creation story is about to unfold before your eyes, and it all starts with a single word: light.
Book of the Bible, Genesis. It's a name that means beginning or origin, and it marks the starting point of everything we know about our existence, our history, and our faith. The book of Genesis is not just a collection of ancient verses. It's a profound narrative that has shaped the way countless generations view the world. It's the foundation of the Abrahamic faiths, a story that has been passed down through millennia, studied by scholars, debated by theologians, and treasured by believers. But beyond its pages of familiar stories lies a depth of meaning that many have yet to uncover. Before time was counted, before the first grains of sand drifted across a barren landscape, there was nothing. No mountains, no rivers, no sky painted with the colors of dawn. The universe was a blank canvas, shrouded in a darkness deeper than any night we have ever known. It was a void so complete that even the concept of silence didn't exist. There was simply an absence, an emptiness waiting to be filled. Yes, this was the prelude to creation, the stage set for a dramatic act that would alter the course of everything that followed. Then, from the midst of this profound silence, something happened that defies all human understanding. A voice spoke. A voice that carried the power of life itself. This was not a whisper or a faint sound, but a command, echoing through the vastness of the unknown. It was the voice of God, the Creator, speaking the first words that would set the universe into motion. "Let there be light," he declared, and in that instant the void was filled with a burst of radiant brilliance. Day one begins with an act so powerful, so profound, that it sets the stage for all the creation to follow. Before this moment, there was nothing but an endless void, a vast sea of darkness stretching into infinity. No sound, no form, no life. It was a silence that hung heavily in the emptiness, almost suffocating. But then, something unimaginable happened. A voice spoke into the void, piercing through the thick, impenetrable darkness. It was a voice unlike any other, commanding, purposeful, and filled with a power that defies all understanding.
Let there be light.
With these 4 simple words, everything changed. In an instant, the darkness was torn apart by a burst of radiant light, more brilliant than 1,000 suns. It was a light that didn't come from the sun, the moon, or the stars because they had not yet been created. This was a pure, divine light, the first light ever to shine. It wasn't just a physical illumination. It was a light that symbolized the very presence of God, the beginning of knowledge, truth, and the spark of life. We've just witnessed the very beginning of creation, where God's powerful words brought light into the darkness. Isn't it incredible to think about the first spark of life, the very first moment of divine order? If you're enjoying this journey through the creation story and want to explore more Bible stories brought to life with vivid storytelling, make sure to subscribe to our channel right now. By subscribing, you won't miss any new episodes, and you'll join a growing community of viewers who love these timeless tales. Hit the notification bell too, so you're the first to see our latest videos. The darkness had receded, and the first light had pierced the void. The universe was no longer shrouded in silence. The first day had passed, and the rhythm of time had begun. But the canvas of creation was still incomplete. The light had shown the way, but there was still a vast, formless expanse, a chaotic mixture of waters swirling in every direction. There was no structure, no clear boundary between sky and sea. The earth was like an unshaped clay, submerged in a great primordial ocean that covered everything. It was a world without borders, without a horizon, as if the heavens and the waters were intertwined in an endless embrace. And then, on the second day, God spoke again. His voice resonated across the waters, carrying a command that would shape the world in a new and profound way.
Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.
In an instant, a mighty expanse began to form, pushing the waters apart, creating a separation that had never existed before. It was as if an invisible hand had stretched out, parting the deep and crafting a space where the sky would be born. The morning of the 3rd day dawned, and the world was no longer an endless expanse of water. The sky stretched above, a vast canopy of blue and white clouds, while below the great ocean surged and rippled with the pulse of creation. Yet something was missing. The earth itself had not yet taken form. It was still a blank slate, a watery realm without shape, without definition, without life. And so the voice of God spoke once more, a command that would change the face of the world forever. Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear.
Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear.
In an instant, the waters began to recede, pulling back like a great tide. The ocean depths shifted, forming vast basins and deep trenches as the waters rushed away to reveal the very first glimpse of dry ground. It was as if the earth itself was rising from the depths, emerging from the embrace of the sea. Islands and continents began to take shape. Their outlines rushed and untamed, mountains thrust upward, piercing through the clouds. Their peaks crowned with the first rays of sunlight. Valleys stretched out like the arms of the land, cradling the remnants of the waters in rivers and lakes. The ground was rugged, raw, untouched by any living thing. It was a world of stone and dust, a silent wilderness waiting for its first breath of life. And then, as the last of the waters settled into their new places, God gave a new command. Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit according to their kind. The transformation was immediate and astounding. From the bare ground, the first shoots of green began to push through the soil. Tiny leaves unfurled, reaching toward the sunlight, and the land that had once been barren was suddenly teeming with life. Grass spread across the plains like a lush green carpet, and wildflowers bloomed in a riot of colors, painting the landscape with reds, yellows, and blues. In the valleys, ferns uncoiled, their fronds swaying gently in the breeze, while mosses covered the stones with a soft emerald blanket. But it wasn't just the small plants that sprang to life. Great trees burst forth from the earth, their trunks thick and strong, their branches stretching skyward as if to touch the heavens. Oaks, cedars, and pines rose up, their leaves whispering in the wind. Fruit trees appeared in abundance, apples, figs, and olives, each bearing fruit that would nourish the life to come. It was a spectacle of growth, a miracle of creation that filled the world with the first signs of abundance. For the first time, the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, the perfume of wildflowers carried on the wind. The sound of rustling leaves whispered through the forest, and the sunlight danced across the fields of grass. It was a world transformed, a land that was no longer barren, but alive, vibrant, and full of promise. The earth had become a garden, a paradise prepared for the creatures that would soon walk its surface. This day, the third day, was seen as the true beginning of life's abundance. It marked the moment when the earth was no longer just a place, but a home, a sanctuary, filled with the potential for growth, for sustenance, and for beauty. Every plant, every tree, every blade of grass was created with purpose, designed to reproduce and spread, to cover the earth and provide for all the creatures that would soon inhabit it. Yet there's more to this act of creation than meets the eye. The emergence of dry land and vegetation is often seen as a symbol of stability and foundation. It's the moment when the chaotic waters were subdued, when the solid ground emerged as a place of refuge and safety. The plants and trees that sprouted were not merely decorations. They were the first sign of God's provision, a promise that the earth would yield its bounty to those who lived upon it. But this day also holds a deeper spiritual significance. The land rising from the waters can be seen as a metaphor for resurrection, a foreshadowing of new life emerging from the depths. It's a theme that appears time and again in Scripture. The idea that life can spring forth, even from the most barren of places, that hope can emerge, even in the midst of desolation. As the third day came to an end, the earth was no longer an empty wilderness. It was a world filled with color, scent, and sound, a place of beauty and abundance. God looked upon the land, the seas, and the vegetation that covered it, and he saw that it was good. The first signs of life had been sown, and the earth was ready to nurture all that would follow. But as the night fell and the stars began to appear in the sky, the story of creation was far from complete. The land and the seas were set, the plants were growing, but the heavens were still empty, void of the lights that would guide the night and mark the seasons. What would God create next to fill the darkness above? What new wonders awaited as the fourth day approached? The earth held its breath once more, waiting for the next command, for the next stroke of the Creator's hand. Something incredible was about to happen. a spectacle that would change the way the night sky looked forever. The third day had brought life to the land, but the story of creation was only just beginning. The heavens themselves were about to be filled with light and glory. The world had been transformed. The land was alive with vibrant greenery, the air filled with the scent of fresh blossoms. The seas rolled in rhythm, whispering against the shores of newly formed continents. Yet as the third day ended and the first night began to fall, the darkness returned, stretching across the heavens like a deep, unbroken shroud. The sky was an empty canvas, waiting for the next act of creation. Then, as the dawn of the fourth day approached, God spoke once more, his voice cutting through the darkness.
Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons, days, and years.
In that moment, the heavens were ignited with a brilliance never seen before. It was the birth of the sun, the moon, and the stars, a celestial concord that would forever change the face of the sky. First came the sun, a radiant orb that rose above the horizon with a golden glow, casting its warm light over the land below. The sun wasn't just any light. It was the very source of life's energy, the heartbeat of the day. It ruled the sky with its fierce brightness, sending rays of light that danced across the oceans and kissed the tops of the tallest trees. The earth responded to its presence, soaking in its warmth as the plants reached upward, drawing life from its nourishing beams. It was as if the world itself awakened with the rising sun, brought to life by its brilliant touch. But as day turned to night, a new light appeared, softer and gentler, to guide the world through the darkness. The moon rose, casting its silvery glow across the sleeping earth. It was a pale, serene light, a quiet reflection of the sun's power. The moon brought calm and tranquility, its light shimmering on the surface of the water like a trail of diamonds. It ruled the night, a guardian of the dark hours, watching over the land and the sea as the world slumbered beneath its gentle gaze. And then there were the stars. Tiny points of light began to flicker into existence, filling the night sky like 1,000 tiny lanterns hung in the heavens. They seemed to stretch on forever, a sparkling tapestry that covered the vast expanse above. Each star was unique, burning with its own color and intensity, a silent beacon in the endless sea of darkness. Together, they formed constellations, patterns that would guide the first travelers and sailors, markers that would tell stories across generations. The stars were not just decorations. They were messages written in light, symbols of hope and wonder. They were a reminder that even in the darkest night, there is beauty to be found, and that light can still shine through the deepest void. It's no coincidence that throughout history, people have looked to the stars for guidance, for inspiration, and for a sense of their place in the universe. From the ancient shepherds who watched their flocks by night to the wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem, the stars have always pointed the way, a testament to the divine order of creation. The earth had taken form, the sky was filled with the sun's brilliance by day and the moon's gentle glow by night. Stars had dotted the heavens, guiding the passage of time. The world was a masterpiece in the making, a silent stage set for the next act of creation. But as the fifth day dawned, something was missing. The earth was still quiet, a landscape waiting to be filled with the vibrant energy of life. And so God spoke again, his command echoing across the waters and the skies. Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. In an instant, The oceans stirred with movement, a symphony of life bursting into existence beneath the surface. The waters that had once been calm and empty now teemed with activity. Schools of fish darted through the depths, their scales shimmering like jewels in the sunlight that streamed through the waves. Many plankton drifted with the currents, the first sustenance for the creatures that would follow. Eels slithered through the underwater rocks, while crabs scuttled across the sandy floor, leaving trails in the fine silt. Then came the larger creatures, the giants of the deep. Whales, the great leviathans of the ocean, moved with a slow, majestic grace, their songs resonating through the waters like ancient hymns. Dolphins leaped above the surface, playful and full of energy, their bodies glistening in the sun's rays. Sharks prowled the depths, their sleek forms cutting through the water with silent precision. It was as if the sea itself had come alive, filled with 1,000 different shapes, sizes, and colors. Each one unique, each one a testament to the creativity of the Creator. The earth had become a vibrant canvas, painted with the colors of plants and flowers, the oceans teeming with life, and the skies filled with the melodies of birds in flight. Yet, despite its beauty and abundance, the land was missing something vital. It was quiet, still waiting for its most dynamic inhabitants. As the sun rose on the 6th day, the stage was set for the final, most significant act of creation. The world was ready to be filled with life that would roam its plains, climb its mountains, and, ultimately, reflect the very image of the Creator Himself. God's voice broke the stillness once more, a command that resonated across the valleys, the deserts, and the forests.
Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creeping things, and beasts of the earth.
In that moment, the ground beneath our feet seemed to pulse with a new energy, as if the very soil was infused with the breath of life. The plains that had been silent and still now began to move with the first steps of creatures great and small. The earth became a living landscape. Herds of deer leapt through the forests, their heads barely touching the ground. Elephants, massive and majestic, trumpeted as they lumbered across the savannas, their trunks swinging like pendulums. Lions roared in the distance, the sound echoing across the land, a call that declared their dominion over the wilderness. Wolves howled to the rising moon, their voices a haunting chorus that filled the night air. Each animal, from the tiny ant to the towering giraffe, found its place in this new world, as if guided by an unseen hand. 6 days had passed since the first command shattered the silence of the void, bringing forth light and life. The earth was now a masterpiece of creation, filled with vibrant landscapes, the depths of the oceans alive with mysterious creatures, the skies filled with songs of birds, and the land teeming with animals of every kind. The land was filled with animals, the skies with birds, and the seas with creatures of every kind. It was a vibrant, living masterpiece, yet something was missing. A being unlike any other, one who would reflect the image of the Creator Himself. This day would be the climax of creation, the moment when God would bring forth His most unique creation. And so God spoke once more, His voice echoing through the vastness of the earth.
Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the heavens, and all the creatures that move on the earth.
From the dust of the ground, God began to shape the first human, molding him with care. Like a potter with clay, He formed every curve, every detail, and then He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. The man opened his eyes for the first time. He was Adam, a living soul made in the image of God, endowed with a spirit, intellect, and the capacity for love and creativity. Imagine what Adam must have felt, the warmth of the sun on his skin, the cool breeze through his hair, the sound of birds singing, and the scent of blossoms carried on the wind. Everything was new, every sight and sound a marvel of creation. Adam looked around and saw a paradise filled with trees, flowers, and the beauty of nature. It was a gift, a home made just for him, a sanctuary to live in harmony with everything that existed. But God saw that it was not good for man to be alone, so he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. While he slept, God took one of his ribs and fashioned the first woman. When Adam awoke, he was no longer alone. He saw Eve, a being made from his own flesh, his equal, his companion. "This is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," Adam declared. They were united, two parts of a whole, walking together through the garden, caring for the earth and for each other. Together, Adam and Eve were the pinnacle of creation, not merely creatures, but the very reflection of the Creator. They were given the earth as a gift, entrusted with the responsibility to tend the garden, to nurture its growth, and to live in harmony with all living things. It was a divine partnership filled with purpose and meaning. The creation of man and woman was the crowning moment of the sixth day. It wasn't just about filling the earth with more life. It was about creating beings who could marvel at the world, ponder its mysteries, and seek a deeper connection with their Maker. They were given the ability to love, to dream, to create, and to choose their own path. Yet, this moment of perfection also held the seeds of a challenge. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve walked with God in perfect harmony. But they were given the gift of free will, the freedom to choose their actions, to obey or to turn away. It was a gift that carried the potential for both great good and great peril. As the sun set on the sixth day, God looked upon everything he had made, the land, the sea, the plants, the animals, and mankind, and he saw that it was not just good, but very good. The earth was complete, a vibrant masterpiece crowned with the creation of man and woman, made in his own image. The world was alive with joy, with laughter, with the sound of leaves rustling in the breeze. But as night fell and the stars appeared in the sky, the story of creation was far from over. The seventh day was approaching, a day unlike any other, a day of rest, a day of blessing. The earth held its breath once more, waiting for the next chapter in the divine narrative. The sixth day had brought life in its fullest form, but the greatest story was only just beginning. On this final day, God did something profound. He rested. He didn't rest out of weariness, for the Creator of all things never tires. No, this rest was an act of deep, divine purpose, a moment of reflection, a pause that would echo throughout all of time. It was a stillness unlike any before it, a sacred silence that filled the world with a sense of peace and fulfillment. God looked upon everything he had made, from the smallest seed sprouting in the earth to the vast galaxies spinning in the far reaches of the heavens, and he declared that it was very good. This wasn't just a passing observation. It was a moment of divine satisfaction, a testament to the perfection of his creation. Every detail, every creature, every leaf, and every drop of water had its place, each one fitting perfectly into the grand design. A creation completed not just in form, but in spirit. And so, we come to the end of this incredible journey, a story that began with a single word spoken into the void. Let there be light. We've witnessed the unfolding of creation, day by day, as the universe took shape before our eyes. We saw the light shatter the darkness, the waters separate to form the sky and seas, and the earth give birth to plants and trees of every kind. We marveled as the sun, moon, and stars adorned the heavens, and we felt the energy of the seas and skies as they came alive with creatures, from the smallest fish to the soaring eagles. On the sixth day, we stood in awe as God filled the land with animals and crowned his creation with mankind, made in his own image, a reflection of divine love, intellect, and creativity. And finally, we experienced the peace of the seventh day, a sacred pause that invited all of creation to rest and reflect. It's a story that is as timeless as it is powerful. This tale of creation is not just an ancient account. It's a living narrative that still holds meaning for us today. It reminds us of the order within the chaos, the light that shines in the darkness, and the beauty of rest in a world that often forgets to pause. Each day of creation carries a message, a lesson that speaks to our hearts about the importance of structure, the wonder of nature, the value of life, and the gift of rest. If you found this journey through the creation story as fascinating and uplifting as we did, we invite you to be a part of our community. This is just the beginning of the incredible stories we'll explore together. So, make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Bible Tales Made Easy. Your support helps us share this story with more people, spreading the light and wisdom of the Scriptures far and wide. Thank you for watching. We look forward to sharing more stories with you in the next episode. Until then, may your days be filled with light, your nights with peace, and your hearts with the joy of discovery. See you next time on Bible Tales Made Easy.